We are live. Welcome. Today is Monday, the 6th of March already. It is 6 in the morning here in beautiful Gold Coast of us. And I have the wonderful Jackie here in Adelaide. She's 30 minutes ahead of me. And then the gorgeous and ravishing, hot-looking Agnesia Agrella, who is all the way in Scotland. Sunday night, so if you are in Europe, it is Sunday night for you, or Sunday afternoon if you're in America. Right now we're here in Australia, super excited to introduce you to one of my inner circle ladies, who is the amazing Agnesia. She has such an inspiring and empowering story. If life, please say hello and tell us where you're watching from today, and you're going to be able to ask on the chat any questions live to the beautiful Agnesia. Agnesia has a very, very powerful story, uplifting and inspirational. She's originally from South Africa, and she went through her own challenges of money and finances in such a deep way that she realized that her mission is to teach others how they can also free themselves up from any financial stress. And she is going to share her story, and then she is just launched Market Space Investment Academy, which I'm super excited to show you. So just hang with us for the next 30 minutes or so, because you are going to be glad you did, learning from this wonderful woman and being able to join her academy. Yeah, welcome. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you, Sandra, and it is such an honor to be here with you today. If I think of back to the day when we met, I think it's about 4 years ago in South Africa. I cannot believe that we're actually together on a hangout. So wonderful. Thank you so much for all your support. And I'd love to share my story with people, and also my academy, which is an online academy to help people manage their money. And what gives me the right to talk about the topic? Well, I do have some education around it, but the main thing that I think that gives me the right to talk about it, and what has motivated me to start the academy, is my own personal story and in my family, where I help them to actually overcome some financial difficulties. And I really only did it to help them. I love property, I love investments, but I really did it to help my family. So where did it all start? It all started in South Africa. I was born in a small place called Witendalsrus, where my father worked on the gold mines. He couldn't read and write because he didn't like to go to school. He always used to run away, and he liked gambling a lot more than to go to school. But when he married my mom and my brother was born, he then had to decide between stable life and gambling, and he chose a stable life. So he went to work on the mines, and it was after they got divorced that he actually went to work on the mine, but they got back together again, and that is when I was born. So sometimes when you look at my story, you also think, well, it would have been impossible for this woman to actually be in Edinburgh today, running a investment academy, coming from such a small place. So when my father retired, they didn't really have anywhere to stay. And that is when I bought my first property. And I bought other properties as well, speculated. And eventually I then sold all my properties after my parents died. And I moved to the UK. And the main reason why I moved to the UK was to study craniosacral therapy. Now, for those maybe who don't understand it, it's a complementary therapy that helps people with stress and anxiety. And the main reason why I did that was I work in the bank as a productivity specialist, and I could see what the stress does on people. And that's mainly because they sometimes are so scared they're going to lose their jobs and what is going to happen to them, which is all attached to money. And I was looking for a way to help them through their stress and anxiety. So that's the path that I took to actually get into the therapy. But that also helped me a lot to understand stress, anxiety, and the connections that we make between stress and money. And so when my brother actually found himself in a very difficult situation, I went back to South Africa in 2013 to help him financially. And it's through that experience that I then decided to start the online academy. And that is why I think I've got the right to actually talk about the subject. So although I've got a master's degree in business leadership, the thing that really gives me the right to talk about it is life experience.
Nice. I love that. Very inspiring. Agnesia, I love your energy this morning or evening for you. And so would you take us through your academy works to just entice people and get them excited to come and take a look at your page?
Yes, definitely. I mean, Market Space, where that actually comes from, my brand is actually called spacestationedinburgh.com. .co.uk, sorry. And that was really a space that I created to help people who has got anxiety and stress and who needs to come back into society. But part of that, although the craniosacral therapy is quite a big part of it, Market Space is where we actually make money, because money is what the currency of the world. That is what we all need to live from. And the whole idea is to create a space where people can find a way to provide for themselves during a difficult time, when they are recovering from a difficult time, or if they've been diagnosed with a chronic illness. We all have to still find a place of support. So Market Space is all about supporting people in the business world, and the academy specifically is designed to help people to understand how, first of all, to manage their money until they actually have enough money to invest. So if we start off on the lowest end of my funnel, my marketing funnel, I start off by playing the cash flow game, which, as you know, is a board game that was created by Kim and Robert Kiyosaki. It's an amazing board game that helps people to understand how to manage their money, what is investments. Like, for instance, you can buy property, you can buy shares, you can buy gold coins. And the beauty of the game is that you don't have to talk about your personal finances. My experience has been that if people is going through a difficult time and they don't know how to manage their money, they're really embarrassed and ashamed to talk about it. So the cash flow game helps them to actually do that without talking about their own finances. And then I've created where we first start to look at what is your financial situation. So you can go to the assessment, which is your financial assessment. And I do have templates which you can download, and that will guide you on how to complete your own financial situation, understand where you are. I've got videos that will guide you through the process of completing the templates. You also get a coaching session with me personally, and we do that through Hangouts or Webinar Jam. Then the next level of the course is where you start looking at your finances and taking charge of your money. So that is where we start looking at what's your expenses, what's your money personality. We also then look at how do you generate income? Do you only have one income stream? And then we start working at how can you actually improve your situation. You still keep on playing the cash flow game.
It sounds like there is a whole lot that people can get started with in this. So take me right back to the start. Let's pretend that I've never met you before, and for the very first time, I'm coming into your platform and I'm being introduced to your system. So what's that very first thing for me as a complete novice that I would see when I first come in and meet you or join your academy, Agnesia?
There will be 4 pages on my website, Jackie. So the first one is the dashboard, where you will learn all about the cash flow game. And you can sign up there. You only have to put your name and telephone number in there. You won't pay anything for any service. You will then be able to schedule an online academy. An online game. Where we will play online, or if you actually live in Edinburgh or in Scotland, you can attend a physical game where we actually play the game. So that's the Agnesia, page where you can sign on.
Agnesia, so can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so this is the screen that you're talking about that people would initially log on to?
That's right, yes. So that's the entrance into the if you put your name and your email address in the form, it will take you into the members area where you become a free member. So that is free. You don't have to pay for anything. You get more information about the courses that I offer, which is the personal finance analysis. You take charge of your finances. And then the investment mentorship includes all the other stuff. So it includes your personal finance analysis, take charge of your finances. And I've also created a 30-day program, which is only available in the investment mentorship, where we change your money habits. So that way you get a daily task, which you have to do to change your money habits to become financially free.
Okay, so why is it important for people to change their money habits? I mean, if they're wanting to change their money habits, what are some of the things that you would recommend, and why is it so important?
My experience was really been that most of us attach our self-esteem to our money. And the minute we lose our money, we then lose our self-worth of who we are and what we're supposed to do. And that can sometimes spiralize further and further into a depression or further into a space where we withdraw completely from society. So the whole academy is really designed to help people when they're going through a difficult time, or if they're so overwhelmed in debt and they cannot see a way out and they're so embarrassed and ashamed, they can come to my academy where I've nurtured my family through it. I've nurtured myself out of it. And I've also nurtured other people and clients through this process of feeling so embarrassed because we don't have money or we're so overwhelmed in debt. And doing it on your own is extremely difficult. So having a coach or a mentor who understands that how it feels to be ashamed really helps you through that process.
So through this process, Agnesia, do they get access to you as well? Personal access?
Yes, they do. Yes, if they sign up through the, if they come in even as a free member, they can book. When we play online, I can only take 10 people at a time. And then that actually is with me personally. So it is a live playing where we can play. They've got direct access to me. If they sign up for any of the courses, all the coaching is done by me directly.
Fantastic. And how wonderful that they've got that access to you. But also, Agnesia, you've got, when you spoke about a little bit about your personal experiences, I mean, there's a really good reason, there's a strong reason for why you do the work that you do. Do you mind sharing that with our audience?
No, not at all. I mean, I've been a productivity specialist for most of my life, and I work mostly in the banks, and I really love what I do. And part of the processes when we do it is your finances. So the finance process is part of it. Any business and any organization and any person have to actually have money to be able to trade and to live. But I went back in 2013 to actually support my brother who was going through a very difficult time. He actually bought into a business and he was in business with somebody. And unfortunately, he trusted that person to run the money completely. He didn't really involve himself or put any controls in place to make sure that that person cannot take money out of the business. And by the time he realized what was going on, the business was bankrupt. He lost everything. He lost his pension money, which he invested in the company. He went through a difficult divorce previously and lost a lot of money through that. And he thought that if he can actually invest into this company, work hard, he will be able to make it. But unfortunately, life didn't work like that for him. And like most plans, it doesn't always go according to plan. But when you've got somebody to do it with you and help you through it, it makes it so much easier. So during that time as well, he was diagnosed with cancer, and we actually had to close the business down. So when I actually realized, I've seen what stress and money stress does in the corporate world, but experiencing that with somebody so close to me just made me realize how important it is that there are other people out there who also need help, who needs to understand what controls they have to put in place when they trust other people to manage their money on their behalf. Although we can outsource that functionality, we can never ever give control over, because we shouldn't allow or give that trust to make it possible for other people to take from us. So my whole philosophy in the academy is to teach people how to actually differentiate between still having the controls in place to make sure that I know what's happening with my money, and other people can still do it, but it's still my responsibility to have the controls in place to make sure that I stay in control.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Agnesia. Is there what's your number one tip for people right now, just in terms of what you think their next step should be if they're wanting to get in touch with you? Sorry, Sandra, I realize I just cut you off then.
I think the best thing is to go to the website, the first page, give me your email address, sign up, let me know. There's a place where you'll get to the diary. You can go and book space in the diary. We can either have a chat on the internet, or we can play the cash flow game together.
Fantastic. Thank you. Sorry, Sandra, I realize I cut you off then.
No, it's fine, Jackie. Thank you. They're great questions. And the screen that Jackie's bringing it up again, where you can go and connect with Agnesia. Let me tell you that I'm super, because Agnesia is someone who has done it. If you're gonna learn from someone from someone who's been there, has gone through the same, and has come out on the other side. And Agnesia is such a great example of leadership, of a woman who is self-reliant and completely independent, not given to her on a silver platter, but because she made it happen. She went through the difficulty, and seeing the brother going through it and her parents going through the financial difficulties, and she made it. She's a fantastic man. And just like Jackie was asking Agnesia, like, habits are the most important thing for your money, your mindset and your habits. And this is exactly what Agnesia teaches you, because she had to train her mindset to get away from, her beginnings, where she comes from, to come to where she is now. And of course, being able to manage her money, being able to grow her money, being able to have multiple sources of income so that we don't have to depend on just one. And here you can see on the screen, you have her website, which is amasssingacademy.com, amassinvestmentacademy.com, and you can connect with Agnesia at the very top. She has herself, which, thank God for technology these days. Doesn't matter where in the world you are, you can connect with her on WhatsApp. And you also have her email address, which is info@investmentacademy.com. And I strongly encourage you to come and join us to play the cash flow game. It's going to be a great insight and awareness to help you discover where your money mindset is. You can't grow or improve anything that you don't measure. So if you don't even know what it is right now, how do you expect it to get better? How do you improve your finances? You got to start somewhere. So I strongly encourage you that you go on this Agnesia's side, connect with her, come and play the game, meet other like-minded individuals so that you can get a self-assessment of this. Then you can individually to start learning all of her strategies on improving both your mindset and your money habits, so that you can manage it better, so that you can start generating additional sources of income and completely take charge of your future instead of just letting it happen. So Agnesia, is there anything you add?
Yes, there is. I'd just like to say to the viewers, and if there's anybody that you know who is ashamed or is really struggling through money, the best way to support people is just to let them know that there are people out there who's prepared to help and who can help, and not to judge what happens in people's lives. I think we all go through difficult times, and we all go through times when we have got problems with money, but having an understanding without judgment really makes it easier for people to work with it. And so often we actually want to distance ourselves from those people. But for me, it's a matter of I stuck with who I believed in, and I believed in my family. I loved them. And if it's not me, then who? And if it's not now, then when? So for me, it was really important to actually stay with the people, to support them through their difficult time, because that is when things change.
Absolutely, and just like Agnesia said, so much easier when you do it with someone. If you were gonna make, you would have made it by now. So just like Agnesia said, it's super important to ask for help, to go out there, do it with someone else, be held accountable. You've heard synergy. The sum of the energy of 2 or more people together is way more than it could be if you do it separately on your own. So do not hesitate, do not be embarrassed, just go for it. Put yourself out there. I don't like Agnesia to join the Kashi and connect with her via email and answer your questions and start realizing where is your money mindset. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being here. Jackie, thank you for being here, supporting us with amazing questions and all the Agnesia, thank you to share your wisdom, your amazing willing to make a difference in other people's lives.